smarts and my...
He told me enough.
No, I.
Here's Jeff.
Oh, God. Wow. I'm sorry. Bumhouse has now released their second horror film. And it also turned out to be shit. Literally 2 horror films in, and Blumhouse has done 2 shitty horror films within 2 months. Oh, man. How is that predictable? They really have already done it so far. It is not going good for them. Hey, alright. Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and you can tell I'm already here with a new rant. This rant is going to be for yet another Bumhouse horror film again. To be into the March season, we're getting to spring, and we're now about to have their next shitty horror film. That I saw teasers for. And here we go. What's this movie going to be for? Well, this is for their other one they were doing, and it's this time not at Universal. Maybe Universal finally wanted to break from their asses, so they're like, nah, we're not doing this shit. Go work with some other studio on your crap. So this time they worked with Lionsgate. And this film is going to be for none other than last weekend's new release, Imaginary. And it's directed by Jeff Wadlow. That obviously tells you what a great film this totally will be. The plot of this film is that a woman returns to her childhood home, discovers that the imaginary friend she left behind apparently is real and unhappy she abandoned him. That's the plot. Really. And it's in the form of a killer teddy bear. So pretty much the horror-themed Ted. And how was this made? Well, last year, Lionsgate had acquired rights to a Blumhouse horror film. That was Imaginary. Written and directed by Jeff Wadlow, and co-wrote the film with Greg Erb and Jason Orland, and then a production budget of $10 to $12 million. And the filming took place around New Orleans from May to late June 2023. Originally, Universal Pictures was going to be doing deals with Bumhouse. Usually has deals with Bumhouse, but they decided that they probably clearly did not want to release this shite. They already had Night Swim to start off their year, and so they probably didn't want to do a bunch of shitty horror films from Bumhouse here. So they pretty much made them go to Lionsgate to do this one. So Bumhouse shopped there, and they secured a deal. And after originally this movie was going to be released on February 2nd, 2024. But that didn't happen. It got bumped a month to March 8th, 2024. So after the movie was all teased, advertised, and marketed, Imaginary would be released in the United States in the theaters last weekend on March 8th, 2024. And predictably so, it's received very negative reviews from critics. And why is that not a surprise? But anyway, for my reaction, before I say that I saw the film, let's talk about the director himself, who I'm familiar with, Jeff Wadlow. When I saw this teaser, in the very minute I saw his name attached to this movie, I knew this film would be so fucking horrible. Guys, half the films he's done have been fucking awful. The guy did Cry Wolf from 2005, which was a shitty PG-13 slasher crap fest. Then he did a mediocre boxing movie, 2008, called Never Back Down. No one remembers it. No one cares for its existence. Then he also after like 5 years after Never Back Down, he directed that shitty Kick-Ass sequel in 2013 that killed the franchise as soon as it was beginning, the minute that movie released. Then 5 years after Kick-Ass 2 bombed, or I should call that Suck Dick 2, better title, because Kick-Ass 2 sucked dick. He would join Bumhouse in 2018 with Truth or Dare. No one liked it, and I don't think it even made that much money. Then 2020, he did Fantasy Island a month before COVID hit, and that bombed as well. It got horrible reviews as well. Now him and Jason Blum are back with another shitty horror film in their team-up. And this time it's called Imaginary, with a killer teddy bear as an imaginary friend. And, oh boy, yeah, it totally sucked. The end. End of story. Now, was it as bad as Bumhouse's last flick they released around the beginning of the year called Night Swim? No. Because unlike that movie, which was boring bad, this movie, I'll admit, it's definitely one of the worst films of the year, but it's kind of hilariously bad. Bad movie, yes, but it was hilariously bad. So I'll give it points for that. Like, despite its potential with all the elements, the movie just falls short in putting everything together. Like, the family dynamic, the characters are not even established at all, and the plot's intricacies, it makes the film unravel. Now, Piper Braun's child acting did feel decent enough, and but the horror elements, this story like this seems to show promise, but the premise fails to even live up to any good potential it would have had it been actually done by people that actually give a shit about horror. Like, Jeff Wadlow just further wrote this film with other writers, who had pretty much co-wrote children's animation film scripts for the film. So they have little experience with horror films. And Jeff Wadlow has worked on other horror scripts before this, and none of them were successful, at all. He apparently saw the film Poltergeist as an influence to the story of the film, but he and this other writer had little unique imaginary vision for the film, and it just comes across as your typical cliche horror film Bumhouse obviously would always seems to do every single year. And the way this film remains more predictable and familiar than even scary at all. There was nothing scary about this film one bit. Nothing scary. Whenever they try to be scary, the whole audience in my theater just laughed because of how stupidly written the scares were. The visual effects, do not even come off as believable. And most things just don't come off as scary. And it sticks more to bland, predictable jump scares. But, if I will give credit to one thing, though, I'll give credit because at least they made a teddy bear an intimidating horror icon. Try to make the idea of a teddy bear being a horror icon would be not a bad concept, but Bumhouse being typical Bumhouse has always fucked it up. Okay. But then again, it's Bumhouse. Regardless of the box office weekend, I can bet you this will still make a decent profit, so I wouldn't be surprised if Bumhouse decides to make a sequel to this. Regardless of what people thought. Many of their bad films have gotten sequels. Many of them. Because somehow their bad movies keep making so much money at the box office. And I don't know why. There's some strange and interesting ideas and visuals in a movie, but they don't save it. But anyway, how this movie starts, we start off with, our lead of the movie is this Children's Arthur named Jessica, who's married to the musician named Max, and Max has 2 children, their names are Alice and Taylor. The youngest one, Alice, does like Jessica, but the adolescent bitchy one, Taylor, just keeps her at arm's length. Yeah, I will admit, that's something I'm going to already say. Taylor is probably was probably easily pretty much just a bitchy character who I did not give a rat's ass about. I kind of was the one I was hoping would die because of how annoying she was. But that doesn't happen. Now, When we see Jessica, she's apparently plagued by nightmares that includes her father and his fictional imaginary friend of hers, which is named Simon the Spider. So the family moves into Jessica's childhood home. Allison discovers a teddy bear that's in the basement. Apparently its name is Chauncey. And then she forms a bond with Chauncey. But then we randomly see an elderly lady watching outside through the window, who's named Gloria, and it was apparently Jessica's babysitter when Jessica was a kid. They reunite, and Gloria apparently shares memories of Jessica's childhood, and she can't remember them. Yeah, but we first see her literally just standing outside a house, staring through a window, literally. And then of course, then after that, we then randomly get a scene where just somehow their mentally disturbed mother Samantha, the two daughters' disturbed real mother, because Jessica's her stepmom, not the real mom. Their disturbed mother just randomly sneaks into the house. There's no scene, no build up to this. We don't know how the hell she even got out at all, or how she escaped. She just shows up in the fucking house. She came in to see the girls and decides to attack Jessica, but then the police come and they take her away. And we find out the unlikable teenage daughter texted their real mom. That's how she got out, apparently. There's no way she knew how to escape at all. How the hell did this real mother get out of the asylum? They never touch up on this. Somehow, the daughter texted and probably just magically, what? Did that daughter's text just magically transport the whack lady who probably seems like the cat lady from The Simpsons, just magically teleport invisible fucking magic outside of the asylum? Did that happen? Is that how she escaped? The text just got her out of the hospital quick? How? No. There's or do they probably just have such shitty security? They're probably almost as shitty as Chief Wiggum and the police from The Simpsons as well. They're probably as shitty as them. Holy crap, they don't explain any of this. Then just after all that, Jessica puts Alice to bed, and then remarks that she had a similar child friends to Chauncey. So yeah, then after that, the husband Max, goes on a tour that disappears for the rest of the film. We never see him again. He's never seen, ever again. At all. After this scene, and then Alice is now obsessed with going on a scavenger hunt that's hosted by her imaginary friend Chauncey. Then Chauncey keeps having an overwhelming presence in Alice's life, and it really starts to disturb Jessica. Because, doing some pretty weird, making Alice do weird things that I barely fucking don't remember because I don't really fucking care. Then Jessica leaves to go visit her father and show the book she wrote. So Taylor, we also before the old lady through the window appeared, we meet this other teenage guy who literally decides hey, I'll sneak you out to a bar. And then Jessica shows or you can take her bowling. Yeah, pretty much, that guy's back. I almost forgot to mention that, but he's there. Taylor invites him over to the house now that he's gone, so he literally basically Allison sees the guests in the house, and we get a Bing Bong fucking reference from Inside Out. I should mention, this movie references Bing Bong to fucking death. Yeah, there's multiple Inside Out references, because get it, Bing Bong's an imaginary friend, and this teddy bear is an imaginary friend, so we need to fucking reference Inside Out multiple fucking times. They reference it to death in this film. And there's no reason to. At all. But yeah. A guest pretty much fucks with the teddy bear, fucks with the jar of bugs that Alice was collecting, because apparently the scavenger hunt requires a jar of bugs. Apparently. No reason. But yeah. So yeah, but then after that, after kind of fucking around with Alice's stuff, the guest guy goes and grabs a bottle of alcohol from Taylor's father's shelf, and Taylor warns not to take it because her dad will be mad, and shattering it. And then literally, he attempts to find a towel to go clean it up, then gets and it gets toy whipped by Chauncey, who briefly turns to a monstrous bear. And yeah, like, but it's just brief, it doesn't matter, it's not really even remotely scary, it just comes off as laughable with the bear's design. But then Jessica returns, and Taylor's all mad about that because her so-called attempted boyfriend is now ruined. Now, and apparently the drugs that the guest brought over were literally not even real ecstasy pills, because apparently he was that dumb to get real ecstasy. Like, even the guy's mother, when she arrives to pick him up and pull him back home, even she points out his stupidity. Yeah. So pretty much all we've had was a woman randomly getting out of the hospital, no explained reason, and now a bunch of an Inside Out fucking reference. There's more Inside Out references here. It's not the one time they do it. A random attempt at a jump scare that's just laughable. Yeah. Literally. That's all we get. We literally get in this first half so far. Like, I can't deny for the bulk of this movie, like, yeah, the bulk of this film is all bad. The dialogue is terrible. They literally just state their emotions out loud, and there's no confidence in the audience to understand, like, these characters. It's not even scary. There's not one tense moment in the movie. They just overuse jump scares you've always seen. It builds no atmosphere. And the attempts at jump scares they do are just hilariously bad. Like, the least they could have done was, like, shoot most of the film at night. But no, apparently, like, half of this movie takes place during a day. And it literally has, so, it's basically no dread or horror at all. Like, you can't, no, I mean, no, like, a lot of horror movies take place during the day. But, like, like, Jeff Wadlow, is no actually good director who knows how to get that right because he can't get a fucking movie of his right. At all. None of them. And, like, the performances are just actively bad. Like, that's really bad. Like, sometimes Prior Braun just looked like she was just reading lines for memorization, or just being a completely different character from prior scene. So I'll admit was actually one of the reasons why the movie was entertainingly bad. For one of those reasons. But then, like, so after, like, the teenage guy scene, like, apparently Chauncey now wants Alice to slam her hand on a nail, but Jessica nearly stops Alice for doing that, and so Jessica calls for a psychologist to speak to Alice, and Soto observes Alice's talk to Chauncey, and is speaking on his behalf, and makes literally threatening remarks about Jessica, and Alice is now then just crying over their uncrumbling friendship of a fake character who isn't real. And then Jessica discovers that only she and Alice can see the bear. So yeah, we find out a twist that the bear was apparently not even real. So the psychologist shows Jessica footage of the past child patient, and, like, apparently, like, the phrase Alice used, like, never ever, the patient apparently used that as well. Then Alice disappeared, after speaking to Chauncey again. And Taylor, being the bitchy character she is, yeah, because his character is so bitchy and annoying. Throughout the whole movie, like, whole movie is her being a bitch. Taylor blames Jessica for her disappearance. Even though half of it is probably her fucking fault too, for being a responsible older sis. Like, you were clearly assigned to look after Alice. Instead, you invited your attempted crush over to get drunk, do drugs. And you pretty much didn't pay fucking attention. So it's your fucking fault too, you dumbass. Like, it's like, holy crap. Get your headphones out of your ears and stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah. So after Taylor treats her stepmom like shit, Taylor goes to the elderly lady from the Windows house, explains what happens to Jessica as a child, and apparently Chauncey was also her stepmom's imaginary friend. And we get more Inside Out fucking references again, like 2 of them again. Yeah, because apparently it's like somehow a horror movie now needs to reference a Pixar film, apparently. And then the old lady says, like, its name is Chauncey, not Bing Bong. Again, with the Inside Out references. Like, it apparently explains imaginary friends are spirits that tether to the young and become aggressive if they're abandoned. Jessica abandoned her imaginary friend, and that apparently made the fake Chauncey aggressive. So, like, Jessica goes through the old belongings. It finds, like, drawings of Chauncey and the never ever phrase. So, the elderly lady and the rude daughter return. And after they completed the scavenger hunts, we find out after completing the scavenger hunt, a glowing door in the basement literally appeared. Like, it's the whole problem. Like, can you make a cuddly toy scary? Well, yes, you kind of can. Like, you can make dolls scary with Child's Play. The Child's Play movies actually get this concept right. Can you do that with teddy bears? No. With dolls like Chucky, it's different. Like, a doll seems like a freaky as fuck toy. Like, Chucky's actually did it right. And Chucky already did this concept. They just want to do Chucky again with an imaginary teddy bear. And it's just stupid as fuck. Like, you just combine that with a shitty-ass paper-thin story, throw in this teenage brat, some terrible fucking actors. You end up with this mess of a film. Like, none of these actors can act for shit in this whole movie. Not a single one of these characters could fucking act. Like, literally, like, instead of watching a horror movie, you're literally watching some children's fiction story for no reason. Like, but the director also remembered, oh wait, I'm directing a horror movie, not some children's dark flick. And so he threw in low-effort scary scenes, and then decides to put in a painfully obvious plot twist, and then finish the movie in literally the same way. It would have literally ended without the dumbass plot twist that you could see coming a mile away. It was just about, this whole film is just about as annoying as the horrible pacing from the start, and like by the end, like this movie, and the way this movie ends, it takes for fucking ever to end. Like, when you think the film is gonna just have a damn ending, there's more scenes. Like, one part, it seemed like the end is like, wow, the movie's over. Then another scare scene happens, like, that was, yeah, in the theater, that's how I reacted. Like, I was just waiting to go fucking home. I was like, end this fucking movie so I can get out of here. How much more of this shit do I have to watch? But yeah. It's like they don't know how to damn end the movie. Yeah, like, seriously. And of course, since it's 2024, we gotta have more references in the characters, like, and just about all the male characters in this movie, they're useless, they're weak. Like, the husband, like, goes on his tour, and he's just fucking gone the rest of the movie. Like, even the imaginary friend character, Chauncey, does fucking nothing. So how is he fucking scary? He's just a fucking teddy bear that just sits like a teddy bear and doesn't do horse shit. Like, wow. That's supposed to be real scary. A teddy bear that just sits there. Chucky may seem ridiculous, but Chucky actually talks and fucking moves. Right? Yeah, and of course, like, there's just lack of scares. And there's some monsters you see in the movie, and they just look dumb with a bunch of goofy effects. Like, and yeah, like, there's... Like, you can't just get into this movie at all. Like, yeah, like, once again, the teenager Taylor, I wanted to die because she's an asshole that you don't like, an asshole I didn't care about. And then apparently she's changed after apparently the old woman tells the story of Jessica and her imaginary friend, but then suddenly the teenage daughter has this change of heart and decides to go save Jessica. And before that, she apparently only wanted to save Alice from the crazy imaginary friend. But then after hearing the old lady's story about the same imaginary friend, Taylor's suddenly like, oh no, I gotta go save my stepmom that I never treated with respect and treated like garbage, never liked, yelled at all the time, blamed for things that were my own fault. Fuck you, movie. Bull crap. His daughter was just like literally a spoiled bitch on her phone half the damn film. It's just an asshole to her stepmom. And her stepmom isn't really that great of a character in the first place, either in my eyes, but still. Fuck these characters. And fuck this movie. And all the stepmom like does, like Jessica, most of the film, she's like drawing pictures of a butt ugly ass spider for a book that, oh right, a book that just about we see go nowhere. We don't see any press tours. Like, what do you think maybe this chick would be on press tours promoting this damn book? If she's writing a children's book? Apparently not. Apparently she'd be away lots of times. She'd probably be away lots of times. Promoting this book in libraries, or in bookstores, at children's press things. That never gets touched up on. So this book plot is pointless. Like, Jeff Wadlow just wrote the film with other writers. No, oh wait, no, sorry about this. Like, and yeah, like, seriously, like, the old lady, like, Betty Buckley's performance, like, her dialogue, the sound mixing performance, like, I'll admit, another part that makes this movie entertainingly bad is Betty Buckley's hilariously bad performance. Like, whenever she speaks, she just sounds louder than just about everyone else in the film, and just puffed her way through every line. Like, I wouldn't blame her. She probably wanted to get the hell out of the set and get the hell out of Dodge. Having to star in this damn movie. But yeah, if I was to get out of this movie, I don't blame her. Because I probably would do the same thing if I had to star in a shitty-ass horror movie without a shitty-ass killer teddy bear. In the finale of this movie, yeah. I've mentioned it all. I'm going to mention the finale here. But the finale goes on for fucking ever. And it just never wants to damn end. Alright? Like, here it goes. We find out the never ever, the phrase. Apparently we find out the world in never ever. It's a real man. It's controlled by imagination. And they find a door, apparently where Jessica's childhood incident happened. And we find out that Chauncey was luring Jessica into the never ever. But then Ben rescued her and went mad in the process from seeing Chauncey's eyes. And Jessica left home shortly after to live with her grandmother. So Gloria then chooses the escape route, who got obsessed because apparently she's now obsessed with the realm. Then a door opens besides Gloria Chauncey, and Chauncey mauls the old lady to death. Hilariously, stupidly way possible. And so Jessica and Taylor are now left, and they rescue Alice and they attempt to escape. But Chauncey gets all mad, goes berserk, and the group leaves. Jessica stops them, stabs Chauncey right in the eye, and then they leave. And then like they reunite with Jessica's father and Max at the institution. And you think the movie's gonna finally be fucking over? Nope! Guess what, guys? Because it's a hallucination. She's still in the imaginary world. So it almost goes the dumb smile route, which works perfectly fine. But no, it's not like that's not the actual ending with her still trapped, but Chauncey apparently used Alice as bait to get his real target as revenge for abandoning him, which is obviously Jessica. So, but then Taylor arrives and saves Jessica. And then we find out Chauncey's true form. It's like literally the spider that Jessica was riding throughout the damn film. The Simon Spider decides to try to make Jessica go crazy for some weird reason. But Alice apparently decides to easily defeat the creature by setting the creature on fire, and then seals it behind the door. And the family leaves as the house burns to the ground. Yeah, just like that. The villain just gets defeated easy by a kid. A really young kid who just sets the spider on fire, and they leave and they seal the door. And it's over like that. Okay, I'm just kidding. It's not the ending. We get one last scene because the family tries to check into a hotel. They see another child playing with his imaginary friend, the very same bear that we kept hallucinatingly seeing. And they're like, okay, we're fucking getting out of here, going to the next hotel. So yeah, it pretty much has no ending. It just goes to recycle same plots, just different characters. It's just going to be a chain that continues. That's how it really ends. The cycle just continues with different characters. That's all. We don't see like the husband come back from his tour. We don't see we don't see Jessica's father reuniting again. Nope. We don't see any of that because it's not important. According to Jeff Wadlow, apparently none of that bullshit's important. Yeah. But all in all, like, it really like seemed like at first they just wanted to go the smile route again. But then Jeff Wadlow must have been all like I can bet you Jeff Wadlow was originally going to plan to end it with her trapped there. But then Jeff Wadlow probably decided to reshoot at the last minute and have them escape. But just have the cycle continue with different characters. He must have been like, oh wait, we'll get criticized for ripping off Smile. Which apparently people thought, yeah, which, by the way, even I think Smile was a shitty-ass horror movie. And I don't know how the hell people thought it was so fucking good. So let's not do that. And have it end with them escaping instead. Better, guys, let's give us all a round of fucking applause for a reshot ending. That we just draked on for fucking ever. Yeah, that's now perfect when he draked this finale on and on for 40 whole fucking minutes. Like, literally, like, me and the audience, like, even the audience I was with got so fucking bored. Like, I kid you not. Like, literally, get this. There were 2 teenagers behind me that were literally heckling all the scenes. And trust me, those 2 teens were more entertaining to hear than any dumbass scares in this whole movie ever was. But yeah, just this movie, here's this. Here's the list of what the movie has. Dumb characters. Dumb plot twist. Slow as fuck finale that doesn't want to end. Laughable ass jump scares. So then, that's all of this movie. Check that off and you get this whole entire movie. Like, holy crap. We are at 2 horror films for 2024, and both of them have sucked ass. And they're both from Bumhouse. How is this not a surprise? I mean, I really hope Quiet Place Day 1 and Terrifier 3 can at least be good. Because we're already having 2023 is a shitty year for horror movies. And we're already getting a shitty start to horror for this year again. Ah, man. Now, with that being said, with their good qualities, I'll admit, the best part is that, unlike worse movies I've seen this year, at least this was entertaining bad. Like, it wasn't as bad as Night Swim, and it certainly wasn't anywhere as bad as TikTok Girls 2024, the musical remake of Mean Girls. I'll watch this over those 2 movies any day. Like, and now, regardless, I mean, the year hasn't, and now I will say this year has not been horrible for movies so far, because, like, I liked Doom Part 2, that's my favorite movie this year. Recently saw Damsel with Millie Bobby Brown, and I loved that movie. And I guess some people really didn't, but I fucking did. I loved Lisa Frankenstein. I liked Orion in the Dark, the animated Netflix film that I will review eventually. I liked The Beekeeper. So yeah, there's 5 movies I've liked this year so far. 5 of them. And plus, we're in the first 2 months of 2024, and I think it seems like so far this year is starting to finally improve for films. I mean, it's definitely not turning out to be as bad as 2023 already. I'm already liking this year better than 2023. I'll admit that. So I'm not going to criticize the year just yet. But yeah, the good qualities, the scares actually gave me a laugh, so it was entertainingly bad, no doubt. However, that does not make Imaginary good, because in the end, Imaginary will still definitely be a void, because while unintentionally funny, it's still a crock of shit that is not worth seeing. Anyways, guys, that's it for my rant of Imaginary. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Imaginary, here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, if you want to see an unintentionally bad horror film with a killer teddy bear, you will get that here, because that's exactly what it is. Comedy bad. But if not, avoid it for sure. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Imaginary, I'm going to give Imaginary a 4 out of 10. There you go, guys. That wraps up my whole rant for Imaginary. And now, I already got the script down written for Damsel, so I'll be reviewing that next. So yeah, trying to get back into the YouTube spirit again. I think the more stressful parts of 2024 are starting to finally come to an end. So I'm going to try to get back on track. But yeah, guys, but if you saw Imaginary, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. If you liked it or if you hated it like I did. Tell me in the comments down below. And yeah. Until then, guys, that'll be it for this rant. Thank y'all for watching. If you like this and want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.